Andrea.
Hi, good to see you.
Thank you for taking the time to chat with us today. I'm looking forward to hearing about the business and especially in the current context.
Yeah, it's always nice to talk to you.
So I'm going to start off with a question from our previous interview with Jeff Lobel, who's a distribution leader at Delta Airlines. And he wanted to ask you, of all the issues surrounding COVID, which do you think is going to be the most enduring change in the long term, the travel landscape?
So I really think that what will stay with us is the demand for flexibility from the customer.
Mm-hmm.
Historically, if you compare the airline industry with the hotel industry, airlines have been much more strict in giving very limited possibility to customers to change their plan, unless they were paying a hefty fare. I really hope airlines will be able to bring to market more flexibility.
So tell me about some of the learnings from the European market and how that's impacting your operations.
As an industry, what we have to find is a way to give back confidence to customers to book. And probably the lack of confidence is also because the industry has not been really able to manage the refund process. We still have thousands and thousands of customers waiting for the refunds for flights canceled back in the spring. And customers don't want to buy a ticket now because they could accept that the flight might be canceled, but what they don't accept is that if the flight is canceled, they will not receive their money back within 14 days, which is the law. And this is really something that collectively as an industry and especially airline, we have to find a way out of this. We have to go back to a normal situation where a flight canceled was refunded within a couple of weeks. And this is really important, I believe.
Can you tell me a bit about how content sourcing has changed for your business? What efforts are needed on the development and maintenance of the different types of connectivity? And what are some of the challenges you see along the buying process?
So I have to say that in Europe, NDC, it's finally a reality. You know, in the industry, we've been discussing about NDC for many, many years. But I have to say that in the last 12, 18 months, we saw a lot of progress on this. For us, I have to say that on the search and book part of the funnel, this was not really a huge impact. We historically in Europe we had a lot of content fragmentation because a low-cost carrier have never been on GDS really. Mm-hmm. So as an OTA, and we always had the challenge and the need to integrate different content from let's say one big source that was the GDS for the scheduled flight, and then we had many different sources for the low-cost carrier. So on the search and book, I have to say that things have progressed a lot, and for us it was not so difficult. Let's say it's a complexity, but it's a complexity that we are used to manage. Mm-hmm. Where the challenge really is in the post-sale management. So there is really difficult at the moment because NDC is not really developed for booking management. Even in the extreme situation that we had to face with the COVID, with the cancellation and refund, we realized that there are no processes in place. Every airline is trying to do their own way, and for agency, it's very difficult to manage a booking that was booked on NDC. This is where I believe the GDS have an opportunity to bring value to the market. As I was also chatting with some of your people at some conference and events organized by Sabre. I really think that GDS, large GDS, have all the technology and experience to give value to the industry in having an end-to-end solution for this content fragmentation. But it's a long journey. I have to say that historically people always focus on book, search and book, because cancellation and post-booking management was a small fraction of the work you had to do. But the COVID showed everybody that you have to have process automation and systems also to manage a booking in post-sale, because otherwise you cannot manage the customer properly.
So that ability to manage the customer properly throughout the process, that relies on the partnership across the industry with everyone involved. When I look at the partnership between airlines and OTAs, historically there's been some movement to restrict the access to different types of fares from OTAs in order to stimulate demand for airline.com. We see the OTAs playing a very strong role in the slow recovery of the business. Do you think that means this dynamic might change?
I think it's going to be always a love and hate relationship. We bring a lot of volumes to airline. I believe we bring a lot of value also. So not just booking, but also visibility. We can support airlines in markets where they're not very strong, where their brand is not very strong. We can combine their service with other services packaging. You know, lastminute.com has been focusing a lot in the last year on dynamic packaging. So the capability to put together a flight and a hotel in real time, all activity that for airline are not easy to implement. So we bring value, but of course we have a cost in terms of distribution, and an airline, I feel that they should go direct and build as much business as they can direct. And that's why they're putting fees on third-party distribution. They are restricting content. They are in many different ways trying to capture market share. I hope that as the industry matures, or let's say the direct sales from airline becomes more relevant, they will also understand the huge cost that they have to incur in direct sales. Because, you know, it's cost of distribution is easy to see because it's has been always like this in the past. But when airline will start doing some accounting, proper accounting, and see how much it costs them managing directly a customer versus the cost that they have when the customer is managed by the agency, they will understand that there are some customers that there is a value for them to serve directly, but there are a lot of customers that is much more efficient for them to serve via third party or via an agent. And this is something that will come, because as they scale direct sales, they will start seeing the cost of direct customer management, and they will try to find the correct balance between direct distribution and indirect distribution.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Really great to talk to you. Some fascinating insights, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to meet you. Ciao.
Ciao.